My shattered dreams and broken heart are mending on the shelf. Di ba dito manganta?
Hello everyone, I am back again. This is Reno Casas, your math hero. La 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 la. Okay, so this time, since I was able to share some reasons on why students don't like mathematics, for this moment I will also be sharing. From this moment, I will From this moment, I would like to share about some ways on how to improve your mathematical skills. And I hope that this video allows you to improve and enhance your mathematical skills so that you will be able to comprehend and understand mathematics more. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and comment below about your thoughts and additional info or ways on how to help everyone about their mathematical skills. Young students often struggle to grasp the core concepts of mathematics, which can make it difficult to be successful at higher levels of mathematics education. In some cases, the failure to master basic concepts in math early on can discourage students from pursuing more advanced math courses later on, but it doesn't have to be that way. There are a variety of methods young students and their parents can utilize to help the young mathematicians better understand math concepts. Understanding rather than memorizing math solutions, practicing them repeatedly, and getting a personal tutor are just some of the ways that young learners can improve their math skills. Here are some quick steps to help your struggling math student get better at solving mathematical equations and understanding core concepts. Regardless of age, the tips here will help students learn and understand math fundamentals from primary school right on through to university math. Number 1. Understand rather than memorize math. All too often, students will try to memorize a procedure or sequence of steps instead of looking to understand why certain steps are required in a procedure. For this reason, it's important for teachers to explain to their students the why behind math concepts and not just the how. Like, for example, take the algorithm for long division, which rarely makes sense unless a concrete method of explanation is fully understood first. Typically, we say, how many times does 3 go into 7? When the question is 73 divided by 3. After all, the 7 represents 70 or 7 tenths. The understanding of this question has little to do with how many times 3 goes into 7, but rather how many are in the group of 3 when you share the 73 into 3 groups. 3 going into 7 is merely a shortcut, but putting 73 into 3 groups means a student has a full understanding of a concrete model of this example of long division. Number 2. Math is not a spectator sport. Get active. Unlike some subjects, math won't let students be a passive learner. Math is the subject that will often put them out of their comfort zones. But this is all part of the learning process as students learn to draw connections between the many concepts in math. Actively engaging students' memory of other concepts while working on more complicated concepts will help them better understand how this connectivity benefits the math world in general, allowing for seamless integration of a number of variables to formulate functioning equations. The more connections a student can make, the greater that student's understanding will be. Math concepts flow through levels of difficulty, so it is important that students realize the benefit of starting from wherever their understanding is and building on core concepts. Moving forward to the more difficult levels only when full understanding is in place. Number 3. Practice, practice, practice. Math is a language all its own, meant to express the relationships between the interplay of numbers. And like learning a new language, learning mathematics requires new students to practice each concept individually. Some concepts may require more practice and some require far less. But teachers will want to ensure that each student practices the concept until he or she individually attain fluency in that particular math skill. Again, like learning a new language, understanding math is a slow moving process for some people, encouraging students to embrace those aha moments will help inspire excitement and energy for learning the language of mathematics. When a student can get 7 varied questions in a row correct, that student is probably at the point of understanding the concept. Even more so if that student can revisit the questions a few months later and can still solve them. Number 4. Work additional exercises. Working additional exercises challenges students to understand and utilize the core concepts of mathematics. Think of math the way one thinks about a musical instrument. Most young musicians don't just sit down and expertly play an instrument. They take lessons, practice, practice some more, and although they moved on from particular skills, they still take time to review and go beyond what is asked for by their instructor or teacher. Similarly, young mathematicians should practice going above and beyond simply practicing with the class or with homework, but also through individual work with worksheets dedicated to core concepts. Students who are struggling could also challenge themselves to try to solve odd number questions of 1 to 20, whose solutions are in the back of their math textbooks, in addition to their regular assignment of the even number problems. Doing the extra practice questions only helps students to grasp the concept more readily. And as always, teachers should be sure to revisit a few months later, allowing their students to do some practice questions to ensure that they still have a grasp of it. Number 5. Buddy up. Some people like to work alone, but when it comes to solving problems, it often helps some students to have a work buddy. Sometimes a work buddy can help clarify a concept for another student by looking at it and explaining it differently. Teachers and parents should organize a study group or work in pairs or triads if their students are struggling to grasp the concepts on their own. In adult life, professionals often work through problems with others, and math doesn't have to be any different. A work buddy also provides students with the opportunity to discuss how they each solve the math problem, or how one or the other did not understand the solution. And as you'll see in this list of tips, conversing about math leads to permanent understanding. Number 6. Explain and question. Another great way to help students grasp core mathematics concepts better is to get them to explain how the concept works. and how to solve problems using that concept to other students. This way, individual students can explain and question one another on these basic concepts. And if one student doesn't quite understand, the other can present the lesson through a different, closer perspective. Explaining and questioning the world is one of the fundamental ways humans learn and grow as individual thinkers and indeed mathematicians. Allowing students this freedom will commit these concepts to long-term memory, ingraining their significance in the young students' minds long after they leave elementary school. And let's go down to our last way on how students improve their mathematical skills. That is, phone a friend or a tutor. Students should be encouraged to seek help when it's appropriate instead of getting stuck and frustrated on a challenge problem or concept. Sometimes, students only need a bit of extra clarification for an assignment, so it's important for them to speak up when they don't understand. Whether the student has a good friend who's skilled in math or his or her parents needs to hire a tutor, recognizing the point at which a young student needs help them getting it is a critical for the child's success as a math student. Most people need help some of the time. But if students let that need go too long, they will discover that the math will only become more frustrating. Teachers and parents shouldn't allow that frustration to deter their students from reaching their full potential by reaching out and having a friend or tutor walk them through the concept at a pace they can follow. Remember, there is no silver bullet in learning math. It comes with taking things one step at a time and with practice. The tips above will help you along in your math studies and give you confidence. And confidence is 100% the name of the game in learning any level of math. Now it's your turn. Share with us the tips and ways on how you cope up with mathematics.